All right, here we go. It is March 7th. I'm finally coming back into the office here after the big birthday bash, and I think I'm somewhat recovered at this point, but hard to tell. Anyway, we can open up here. Anybody got any questions you want to address right out of the gate? No, everybody is good. All right, cool. So a couple of weeks ago, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I would started talking about what Perry Belcher was doing. And it's really a brilliant thing what he's doing. He's trying to create a really, really high-end mastermind group. Like, and when I say a really high-end mastermind group, the kind of group where people are willing to pay 50 grand a year to come in and be part of his group. So that's a high-end mastermind group at 50 grand a year. And that's what he wants ultimately. He wants a handful of people that are really, really kicking ass to hang out with, basically. And what he found that that's pretty hard to come by. And he couldn't fill the group up. So what he did was he's rolled out another mastermind group. And this is what I was talking about a few weeks ago. And this mastermind group is for those that have not made their first million yet online. Because that's one of the qualifiers. To get into his higher end mastermind group, that is a qualifier. You've got to be doing at least a million a year in your business. And he realized most people, they want to get in there, but they can't qualify for it. So what he did, and this is very similar to what I did by building the ACT program. I wanted people that I could do SEO work for, higher end SEO work. And they just didn't qualify. Most of the people I was talking to just didn't qualify because they didn't understand marketing. They didn't understand conversion. They didn't have websites that did either one of those. It was just a business card online. And they expected traffic to come in and perform miracles, and it doesn't. That's just not the way it works. So I created the ACT program as a bridge to get people to get the understanding and do the work to get their websites up to where they would convert. So I could do SEO for them. So it's really important to understand sometimes if you want to sell your product, the product that you actually want to sell, let's say your most profitable product, you might need to build a bridge to get people to that. They might not be like there yet. And there might be a whole lot of them that are not there yet, that have the capability to get there. So you might find that you can help them get there and get paid along the way to do it. And that's exactly why I created ACT. And that is exactly why Perry created this lower end mastermind group. And I know a lot of people had expressed interest in it. So it's available now. I've got the link if anybody wants to get in on it, and he's calling it Ignite. And the whole purpose of it, it's his bridge. The whole purpose of it is to give you what it takes to make your first million online. Because the problem, he's identified the problem is a lot of people don't have something that will make $1 million online. They've got ideas, but they don't have something like flushed out, ready to go that would even come close to doing that. You know, Fortunate for you guys all have something like that because you've got access to Acquisition But he's got like 12 different things or 10 or 12 different things that he's bundled up and packaged. And you don't have to take all of them. You take whatever you want. But he's developing software just like I've developed Acquisition and he's just developing a dozen of them. All different kinds of things, all with the purpose of making money. And the whole group, it's a 1 year long program, and he's supporting all of those. He's got partners in each different compartment to help you with whatever you want. And I know one of the ones they're pushing really hard right now is his, they call it Letterman software. And Letterman is for newsletters. It's a newsletter software. And they're teaching people how to use AI to get a whole bunch of people into these newsletters. And, when I hear that, I just think that is just so cheesy. Why would I want to put a newsletter out? And that was my first thought. But then after seeing some of his training on it, I'm like, holy shit, that's really viable. There's something there. And it was because my first initial thought was just from an uneducated point of view. I just didn't know. So he's got a lot of cool stuff. If any of you guys are interested in it, I've got the link here. I'll put it in the chat. Let's see. I didn't have this link last time. That's why I didn't put it in there. But that is the link there. I've got it at internetdominators.com/ignite. And I'm telling you right now, it's $29.97. It's $3,000 for the year. It gives you access to all of the software that he's building. And here's another thing about it. I'm telling you guys how he's doing this for teaching so you could learn. Like one of the best ways to learn how to get really wealthy is watching really wealthy people do what they do and learning it. Not just sitting by the sidelines and, like just letting it bubble through one ear and out the other. It's try and retain some between the ears. That's where you're going to get your real benefit. So think about this. It's $29.97 per year. He's going to lock that in. So if you want to go an additional year, it'll just roll over and charge you again, and you got another year under your belt. The year includes all of the software. So if you get in there and let's say you just pick up one of the pieces of software that he builds, and you build a highly profitable business around that, he's going to have you as a customer for life, paying $3,000 a year because you get access to the software. Right? I always talk about lifetime value. I always talk about getting a customer and keeping them and retaining them for life. And the way he's doing it is he's bundling it through value, long-term value through the software. So it's a really, really multifaceted, brilliant plan that he's put together for this. And he's got so many different angles. We call it shiny objects. There's so many different angles to this shiny object that it's going to attract people from everywhere. Another thing that he's doing is anybody that gets in on it in this first period, he's going to call you guys the founding members. As a founding member, there's a few benefits to that. One of the benefits is you get to sell this as an affiliate and you get 50% commission. You literally get 50% commission ongoing. Anybody after this that's not anybody that doesn't sign up for this or is doesn't stay in the program or whatever, or comes in later and is not a founding member, let's just say that anybody that's not a founding member, they'll get a lesser commission up front, and it's a one-time commission. The founding members get the 50% ongoing, locked in forever. So that's a pretty big benefit. Because if you get somebody into this, chances are they're going to stick for life. And that's going to be $1,500 a year for you. So that's a pretty good little perk also of the benefit or of the program rather. So basically, if you get two people that are interested in this, that means you ride for free. Not a bad deal. So anyway, just painting that picture out for you guys. The other thing that he's doing is once a month throughout the year, he says he's doing 10 of them, but he's really got 12 lined up for 2024. Three of them have already taken place. One of them took place this week. Actually, it's taking place right now and tomorrow. And it's the one about the newsletter stuff. Everything's recorded. You get access to all the recordings, all that stuff. So you don't have to worry about, missing out on anything. But all of his events are done live in Las Vegas. If you want to go and you want to rub elbows with everybody and participate live face to face, or you can watch the live streams. So you do not have to attend live. They're also all recorded. I mean, this thing, I wish I had a program that stacked up the benefits as well as Perry has done with this thing, because it's awesome. It is a high ticket program. In my book, in a lot of people's book, this is not a high ticket program. The 50 grand's a high ticket program. But for a lot of the people that I'm working with on the level we're working, 3 grand is a high ticket program. But again, it's for the year. It gets access to all of his software, all the software that they release, like anything new they put out. And they got some really killer software they're working on. Really killer stuff. They've got one for quizzes. It's a mousetrap for quizzes. We've talked about this many, many times about how effective a quiz could be to get people to opt into your list, because they'll take the quiz and then have you ever done this? Have you ever participated? Like, let's say there's an online IQ test and you're just like, oh, wow, I've never taken an IQ test before. That'd be cool to know what my IQ is, right? It's pure vanity, doesn't do anything for you. It's just pure vanity. But it takes you 5 minutes or so to take the quick quiz online. And then it says, where should we email your results? Now, are you going to go, oh, well, yeah, I don't really care what my IQ was. I don't need to know. Are you going to do that? Hell no. You're going to put your freaking email in, and now you've opted in. So it is a really cool mousetrap. Quizzes are a really cool mousetrap. Now, there's a lot of reasons why a quiz would be very, very powerful for some of you. Like Teresa, you could do a quiz on what are the odds of you getting an IRS audit? Find out. Answer these 3 simple questions, and you'll know how much at risk you are. Right? That would be a really cool quiz for you to do. You just figure out what's really important, what scares the shit out of your people, and find out if that nightmare is about to come true. Or you can go the other way and focus on what they really want, but fear is a really good motivating factor. Like for anybody that's working with people on businesses, you can put in there, hey, and I do this all the time. I use Forbes as a perfect example. I say Forbes prints this once a year. They reiterate this article once a year, and it hasn't changed in the last 10 years. And they say 82% of business owners are going to fail in the first 18 months. You could do a quiz wrapped around that. You could just bring that back out, big idea. Hey, Forbes says 82% of you are going to fail. Do you want to take this simple business IQ test and find out what your odds of survival are? You could just come up with so many cool things like that. And then you could use Perry's quiz software to do it. He's also got, and this one, again, I have trouble wrapping my head around a lot of the stuff that Perry's doing. But again, it's mostly because I'm not educated on what he's doing. He's coming up with a shopping cart software. My first thought out of the gate is, hell no, I use Kartra, right? That was my first thought. And then when I see what he's doing, it's like, oh yeah, I want to use that, because it's got everything He is tested, believe me. This guy has an army of really, really smart people at his disposal to test this kind of stuff. He knows every trick and gimmick that you could possibly use to get somebody to make a first time sale, right? First time sales are the most critical element you're ever going to find in your business because once they make that first purchase, it's so much easier to sell to them. It changes the dynamic. They're no longer a prospect. They're now a customer. It's like changing the relationship between a friend and a wife. There's a big, big difference there, right? It's changing that dynamic, that relationship. And so anyway, that's what his software is going to do. It's for first time sales. It's not to replace your shopping cart. It's to bring something in to get the first sale to now move them into your customer sequence, turn them into your customer. That's job one. And I've got such, for somebody that's so far outside the box as I am, there's some places where I look at myself and I'm like, Jesus, I'm really limiting myself by putting myself in these boxes. And I guess recognizing that is a big deal. So I realized I'm like, shit, I did it again. I put myself in the Karcher box, not willing to look outside there and see what else I could do to enhance what I'm already doing. So a lot of really cool stuff. Let me go to Roy here. Roy, you had a question?
Yeah, about Perry. Is he going to provide any tools to help us sell this stuff? Any scripts or webinars or anything like that? There any affiliate tools?
Perry is really good at all of that.
He's not?
No, no, he is. I
He
said
is.
he
Okay.
is really good at all of that. Yeah, in fact, they're doing every week, they have a call like what I'm doing here. They've got a 2 hour call just like this that's specifically focused on selling their stuff.
Oh, great. Okay.
And I've been on there, I've been getting on that call and listening in and they've got some really brilliant stuff. Chad is his partner on this. And again, I've been pretty much anti-social media because it's the box I put myself in and it wasn't being educated on, how people are actually making money with that. Just because the people in my sphere, I have not seen yet how somebody makes money with it, I boxed myself out of it. But looking at what like the first webinar I was on with Chad, he was showing how to go in there and do all this kind of stuff that I would say hell no to in the past. Like he showed how to set up a Facebook group, how to populate that Facebook group with a whole shitload of people that are interested in that topic, and then sell stuff to them. And I'm like, wow, okay, here it is. This was the missing piece I didn't have. How to use free social media to get customers. So it's really been quite an eye opener, even for me to be going through, some of his stuff. It's really cool.
So
So
when is this call that you've been going on occasionally?
they do it Wednesday. So it's Wednesday, and I believe it is, what is it? It's 2 to 4, I think.
2 to 4 your time?
Yeah, Pacific time.
Okay. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, it
Good
just
stuff.
confirmed it's 2 to 4 Pacific time. But it's really, really good stuff. And I know some of you just don't have anything to sell. I mean, you're here, you want to make money, and I'm giving you things to sell, like acquisition error, site pop, and all of that. But those tools are those are high level tools. Like site pop, for instance. You got to know SEO to be in the SEO business. If you are, site pop's a phenomenal tool, and you can make an absolute shitload of money with it. Same thing with acquisition error. Acquisition it's an advanced tool. It's for people that already know how to sell their stuff. It's for people that are doing email marketing and people that are already lead generating and know what to do with the leads. And if you get a hold of those people, again, you'll make a shitload of money. But if you're not, you're going to struggle. It's like, and I've done this in the SEO world for years. You sell somebody a phenomenal tool and watching what they do with it, it's like watching a bear cub playing with his pecker for the first time. It's like, come on, guys, this isn't that difficult. but and like I said, Perry has a stable of tools that are kind of on the lower end that pretty much anybody could do, like the whole newsletter thing. Putting a newsletter together, there's a lot of companies that would absolutely love to have a newsletter, right? They would pay for that service. They just don't want to do it. You could offer them an AI newsletter service where the AI does all the work for you. And you can use that Letterman software to provide that service for them. There's a lot of different industries. Like I've seen some people that it's a make it or break it for them in their market because they have a newsletter. And it gives them the ability to reach out every month and update their clients. What does that do? It keeps you top of mind. It keeps you on their radar. So when they want your service, boom, there they are. You know, you are top of mind when they're ready for you. If you're not doing the newsletter and you're not top of mind, they're not going to remember you. Even though you've communicated with them, you might have had a very deep conversation with them. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, now they need what you've got. They're not going to remember you. But if you're showing up every month and you're in their email box every month, every month, every month, they pop in there, they need you, boom, you're top of mind. So it's easy to sell that concept to businesses. If you're selling to realtors are a perfect example of this. Like Chris Koff is one of our members. He hasn't been on here in quite some time. He's very busy. He's a realtor of high-end real estate in Crested Butte, Colorado. And he is the top realtor in that market. There's nobody that can even touch him. And one of the things he does that's different is his newsletter. I'm on his newsletter. I get his newsletter. And he sends it out at least once a month, in some cases twice a month. And every time he's got a new listing in the area, I get an email from him. These are not just any old emails. These are phenomenal. They're packed with information, very relevant to just that market. He's not talking to everybody. He's talking specifically to people that are interested in that market. Now, I'm obviously not interested in Crested Butte, Colorado myself, but I'm on his list just so I can see what he's doing. And it's absolutely phenomenal. Anybody that is interested in that, I can almost guarantee you he's the one that you would use just from the information that he provides. So any of you that have ever tried to run a newsletter, you understand that's a pain in the ass. Collecting all that data, formatting that thing, assembling it, scheduling it, and sending it out every month. That's the cool thing about Letterman. Letterman is an AI software that does all of that for you. So, problem solved there. So when it comes to all these people, and again, I'm speaking to somebody now that doesn't have anything and just wants to make money online. Don't care how you do it, you just want a vehicle to make money online. This is a vehicle for that. There's a ton of businesses out there that would love to have that email or that newsletter rather, and you could provide that service using an automated tool like Letterman for them. They would love it. They would pay you for it. They'd be a customer for life. And that's money. You just made money. Those people are easy to find. Just find any market that runs on newsletters, and there's a ton of them. And that's one of the things that, not only Perry, but Chad, his partner is on there like all the time. And he's a grinder. He is figuring out ways to sell the stuff and sharing that with the group every Wednesday. So again, if you guys are interested in that, it is a phenomenal program. So if you got questions about it, you're more than welcome to ask. Let's go to Tom. Tom, you got your hand up there. Go ahead and unmute.
Hey, John, how are you?
Good. Haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah, I've been a little busy trying the life of an entrepreneur.
I get it.
I'm out there making pretend I'm making money. So, it's just we're getting close. But boy, talk about a timing of this call today. So we're in the process, and I've got to gather my thoughts here for a second, of launching a coaching program in the automobile industry, sales coaching program. And we're about to make the decision. Is it Kartra? Is it Go High Level?
Okay.
Are you familiar with a company called Lightspeed by any chance?
I've
That's what
heard.
Grant Cardone uses and stuff. They're pretty expensive, but
Okay,
basically
that's probably where I
we're
heard it.
talking, it's funny. And then we're talking about, we got to do email. We have to do everything, including newsletters. So it's like you have my house bugged today because we just had a discussion about everything you're talking about, that you're talking about right now are things we need to do. Would this replace, could we host a university on any of his softwares that you know? Can we actually run the courses like
You
you say,
know,
card?
I'm not completely familiar yet with all of the
Okay,
software that he's offering, but I
okay,
think there is. I think there is a software for that.
okay.
The ones I'm kind of familiar with so far is the newsletter software, which is called that's the Letterman software.
Okay.
The software for the shopping cart that he's got is called Mintbird.
Hmm.
And like I said, it's not to replace your shopping cart. This is a shopping cart you put out front just to get a first sale,
I
grab
understand.
the customer, and then pipe them into whatever system you're using, and they're your customer for life.
Okay.
He's
Got
also got a membership software for running associations. And
okay.
this is another one. This is another gold mine for anything, any kind of an association. Like again, you've got auto dealerships. Those
Mhm.
dealerships, you could create an association for all the dealerships. And what it does, it gives you just a lifeline in to sell them shit.
Okay. Sure it does. No, I agree.
If you own, think about it. If you own the whole association for an industry,
Hmm.
you can put on trade shows, you can get corporate sponsorships, you can get all kinds of stuff, and you can control the industry.
Okay.
It's
Oh, I
an
mean,
amazing amount of power.
so what is it? And then that's what we were discussing today. So we need to decide on, is it a Kartra, is it this or that? Then I saw this today. It's sort of hysterical how it's a coincidence. John, on that note, I do have a question with regards to the acquisition air stuff. Is this the time, or do you want to stay on this subject matter?
Sure, no, that's fine. You can move into that. That's no problem.
So in New Jersey, dispensaries have now become legal, marijuana dispensaries. Okay. They're also because of that, but there's also restrictions. You're not running Facebook ads well, I don't know about Facebook. You can't run Google ads and
Yeah.
things like that because it's a restricted category. Do
Uh-huh.
you have any thoughts or suggestions on how we can market these places? Because there is a lot of restrictions. Would acquisition air be something we could potentially use? People searching for marijuana and that type of,
Yes.
we could use
Yes,
it there, right?
absolutely. We don't have a lot of the restrictions that like Google and Facebook has.
Okay.
I mean, basically, our only restriction is, it's got to be legal, obviously.
Oh
We're,
man, you ruined half my business right there. But go ahead.
that's really about the only line that we don't cross. It's got to be legal.
Because there's nothing you could do. You're sort of handcuffed in this vertical. They have digital marketing companies out there trying to sell my colleague. I'm saying, but where are they running the ads? You can't run advertising. The Google platform won't
Yeah.
accept anything with
Well,
regards to
that's because Google has a very forward-facing front end.
right.
They have a reputation out there, whereas, acquisition error, no one knows about acquisition error other than the people buying the leads.
Right.
We don't have the PR problem that somebody like Facebook or Google would have.
Yeah, I've been having a hard time finding, but I think this might be the vertical for us to give a good run at that, to
Mhm.
turn it to.
Yeah.
And last, I have a quick Becky question for you, if I may.
Okay.
Are we able to, and please forgive me if I don't sound as if I know what I'm talking about, because I really don't. But are we able to embed the Becky code on the site so it becomes almost in essence its own page, like a search bar like Google, as opposed to have the little floaty thing on the bottom of the page? Does that make sense at all?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
I know exactly what you're talking about. Currently, the Becky is just set up to be a widget.
okay,
She's
she's a
not
widget. Okay,
really now here's what you could do. You could easily overcome that. Well, all you would have to do is to create a single page on your website for some kind of support, and then
okay.
put the widget on that page only.
Okay, but would it still be down in a little corner there? Is there a way we could shrink it where at least is the main, like say on a mobile, most importantly, a mobile device? Could we have
Okay,
it where the
sure.
widget would look dominant on the page, you think?
Sure. Yeah, well, what you do, like let's say you wanted to run her on her own page.
Okay,
All you would have to do is just set the timer for when she pops up to 0.
okay.
That way she's immediately popped up in your face on that page.
And she'll pop up on the, right, because I'm picturing a cell phone. I thought it had to be down the little bottom, the little circle, but no, we can have her pop up on the page immediately.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, there's a timer for when you want her to appear.
I
Like the
understand.
little widget's there all the time, but if you want, like a lot of people, they don't look at the widget. They
Right,
just don't see it. So if you want her to pop up, you can say, "Hey, pop her up in like 5 seconds."
okay,
Or or pop her up after 30 seconds. If they've been on the
okay,
page 30 seconds and they're still there, let's pop her up and ask if they need help.
okay. And
But
then
if
lastly,
you
lastly on that subject matter, as far as capacity, are
Mhm.
there there's limitations per file because we're reading in here, but can you have multiple files? In other words, if we buy
Yes.
4 bots or 10, but whatever it is, so each bot has a limitation on how many characters you could put in it. But could you theoretically glue together 4 bots and have it still be under one?
Well, all you have to do is just load 4 different files.
4 different files. I got you. Okay.
Yeah, it's just in the size of the file that you can load at one time.
I understand. So then we could, in essence, have one library under this particular Becky if it's a little bit more in depth, so to speak.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, and you
Right.
can load up like, some video files, some text files. You can load her with, anything you've got to help train her.
Okay, cool. I think that's about it. I don't want to take up too much time. I greatly appreciate this curveball you threw here today. No, it's but no, he's got good stuff, and he's around that Ryan. I know who he's around, Perry, and that
Yeah,
Ryan
yeah.
Dice and all those guys. They're sharp guys. I mean, they've got some tremendous software. So I based on the picture I saw on the landing page, I know he's using the other guys for promotional purposes, but I
Yeah.
think he's pretty sure he's around that Ryan Dice and that Roland and those other guys. They're pretty sharp.
Yeah, actually, not too many people know, but they recently kind of split ways.
Who,
So
Roland?
Ryan and Perry kind of split ways.
Ah, okay.
So nothing bad. There's
Right.
no bad blood or anything like that.
Hmm.
But it's just Perry. Perry kind of for a long time was under Ryan's wing. He wasn't a front man.
Okay.
He was in the background of things. And now he's kind of stepping out into the foreground on his own and just kind of rebuilding himself, rebuilding his own brand.
And then Ryan sold off his company to that other group out in California too, if I'm not mistaken, right? That
They,
merger and acquisition group or something like, yeah.
yeah, they sold off the TNC, Traffic
Right,
and Conversion Conference. They sold them out to Clarion Events.
right, okay,
So Clarion now owns TNC.
interesting, okay. Well,
So yeah, so everybody's
if this thing hosts our universe, I mean, we sort of make this silly. No offense to Kartra or anything like that, but it would seem at least to give it a shot because it has a lot of tools here to promote our coaching courses, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And even if you wanted to keep everything under the hood in Kartra,
Uh-huh.
like you can build your whole business under Kartra. And then you just use these other things as feeders to
Okay.
feed your customers into Kartra.
Okay.
I mean, I absolutely love Kartra.
Hey,
I
Joe, one of
love
the
it.
things we had in the past, and we're a little scared, well, leery of it. Like, in other words, to go high levels and stuff. I remember I was with them years ago, and God forbid something crashed and burned. You'd have to go to a Slack channel, and maybe you'd get an answer 4 days later. In the meantime, all my customers are looking to rip my head off because the thing is down. With
Yeah,
Kartra, they don't really. You still think it's an email process with them, right? They don't have any
yeah,
support yet, right?
yeah, yeah. And for those of you that are with Kartra, you've also got me as a front line of defense as well.
Okay.
Because I mean, I know the program inside and out, and I also have connections into those behind the program.
Okay.
So
Is
I
there
can
any way,
usually,
if we're gonna go with Cartridge, is there something we should go through your link or through you,
I do have an affiliate link for it. It's
okay,
internetdominators.com/Kartra,
okay. We'll make
Kartra.
sure if we go through that way, we'll go through there.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. But yeah, Kartra, as much as I love Kartra, Kartra is not for every purpose. It's not for everybody. Like for instance, I still use other billing software for other pieces of my business. Like, some of you will have to put credit cards in two different areas and you wonder why. It's because I have two different billing systems. I have one billing system that I run my entire web development team through and all of our hosting because that software, that system is built for the hosting business. Whereas Kartra is not built for the hosting business. Kartra is built for delivery of electronic products and selling of e-products and memberships and all that stuff. And the other software I use doesn't do that for squat.
And
But
you would,
if
John, and you would recommend, like, we have like 70 something videos. We have an online university created that we're beta someplace else. But Kartra would be a good platform to do this where we could keep
yeah,
track of everything as people go through training and all that. You recommend it
uh-huh.
for that? Okay.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. If you're doing membership sites and all that, Kartra is phenomenal.
Okay.
It's phenomenal. I mean, it's not there's probably higher level stuff you could go to if you want to spend a lot of money.
Hmm.
Like, Kartra's got their membership site. It's fairly templatized, so there's not a lot that you can do to edit and change the template.
Hmm.
But if you're happy with the template, you can plug an unlimited number of content pieces into that template, and you can make a phenomenal resource for anybody that's in that membership.
Understood.
But, if you're fussy and you want it to look a certain way and you want things all changed and to be completely customized, then you're going to have to go to something else.
I understand.
And,
Okay.
and and you'll get that customization, but you're going to pay a lot for it.
Well,
To,
as I mentioned, that light speed, that's an expensive. They're
yeah.
expensive and they want 20% of your gross billing type of thing,
Yeah.
we,
And the thing that I've learned along the way is if you've got the goods, it doesn't matter what you look like.
right. Agreed. Agreed. I get it.
That's one of the things I learned from Frank Kern. I mean, this guy, he sold as far as an internet marketer, he outsold others like they weren't even there. And all of his landing pages were just plain white. They
Mhm.
had no background color. There was nothing fancy about it. It was just his messaging.
Yeah.
That
Agreed.
sold.
The surfer dude shtick that we called out here. Yeah, that was his routine. The surfer dude. Uh,
Yeah, and there was a lot behind that too. You
yeah.
saw a surfer dude, he was anything but a surfer dude.
No, I agree. Well, I knew Chet Holmes, back in those days. I go to
Yeah.
Jay Abraham days, so we knew what
Yeah.
they were doing back then, and we would laugh. Yeah, he's sitting on the beach. He's working 14 hours a day. He's not sitting on the beach. He's not surfing. He's putting in a lot of hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not only that, Frank Kern had no surfing background. He'd never even seen the ocean.
No, he was a car salesman.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, he sold a lot of stuff, but what he recognized was here's the thing in ACT, he did his analysis
Right.
and he learned that his avatar was somebody that worked behind a desk, a clerk, say a bank teller. That was his avatar. And that guy felt boxed in and wanted the freedom lifestyle and didn't know how to get it. Well, Frank, knowing this, Frank became the freedom lifestyle. That's why he became a surfer. He realized that guy wants to go and live on the beach and be carefree and all of this stuff. So Frank became a chameleon. He turned into what his avatar desired so he could lead them there.
Yeah.
And then when
Well, it
he
was
went to
brilliant. It was
corporate,
brilliant. It was a lot more, yeah, I agree with you. It was brilliant what they did. Yeah.
yeah, when he went to corporate, he cleaned himself up and he created a whole other avatar. I've never been willing to do that. I just am who I am, and you like it or not. I can I can lead you to wherever you want to go without having to become that.
That's great.
So,
Well, thank you, John. I appreciate it.
yeah, absolutely. All right, Ray, go ahead.
Hey, how's it going?
Awesome.
Good, good. Actually, I was just in Huntington Beach not that long ago. That's where you are, John?
Yeah, yeah, that's my home base is Huntington Beach.
That's awesome. Yeah, we love it down there. My daughter had a soccer tournament out there, so got to hang out and go out on the beach and walk the pier and all that good stuff. So I have a question on the oh gosh, what's it called again? The acquisition air. Um,
Okay.
so for acquisition air, just a background on me, I'm a little different probably than most people here. I've been in sales my whole life, so I'm not a marketer.
Okay.
So my question is, but I have access to a lot of marketers and agencies and those things who I have presented to, sold products into, and that side of it. So when I see acquisition air, I love the product, but I'm not the marketer guy who's gonna get the leads and nurture and follow up and then try to do that whole deal. What I want to do is, because I believe in the product and I have access, obviously 25 years with selling into these guys. um, I want to sell into these marketing companies that product, and obviously I would have a markup for my whatever I get it from you, they get it to
Sure.
there you go, you're off and running. These guys know how to market, they know how to, they've been doing it for many years. Some of them aren't expert marketers but want to get even into marketing, right? So I have a lot of
Sure.
guys who are brokers, right? Who the one association that I'm in well with, they do on hold uh marketing, right? So you're
Okay.
on hold, you hear all the messaging, all that, but they're looking for other products like this to expand into their product offerings. And these guys have hundreds or thousands of customers, right? That they can sell into, that they have as existings. So what's the best way for me to present the product to them, right? And how would that, I guess, how would that work? How would that, you know,
Okay.
I sell it and it's kind of off the wall, they're off and running. And obviously if I need to do something behind the scenes, but my
Sure.
time is extremely limited. I have a lot of big customers that I sell into and work with and things. So I don't have a lot of time, right? I guess that would be my my
Okay. Yeah, no problem. But like one thing that you should recognize is the fact that you are in sales.
Mhm.
You're at the high level of this whole game. Like when you say I'm not a marketer, you're the ultimate marketer
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you know how to sell stuff. Like when we talk about marketing, the marketing is really just everything up to the point of sales. Like to me, if you do your marketing really good, you can eliminate the whole sales process
Hmm.
because the marketing is the sales process.
Mhm.
So the fact that you know how to sell, you also know how to market. You might just not recognize it.
Correct.
And
I guess I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how, the process behind emailing and, and
sure, sure.
trying to, message maybe that way. I know how to message, right? Obviously, I have no to message.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So what we do like in the online internet marketing space, what we're doing is ultimately we're taking somebody like you and we're building an electronic model out of you. Like we look at, okay, what does this guy do? What makes him so successful? And anything that he can do in the real world, we can digitize
Mm,
and digitize the process. And all the emailing and all that, that's just the mechanics of how it's delivered. But it really is, it's all about the messaging.
mm,
So if you know the messaging, that's like 99% of the whole enchilada. The
okay.
rest of it, I mean, you can go on to Fiverr and you can get somebody to send your emails out.
Gotcha.
But that guy on Fiverr doesn't know how to sell like you do.
Right.
So, but as far as like coming back to your question, like what to do with this, there's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different angles, the way that you could use acquisition air to sell and make money with it. The first way is just it's totally hands off. If you don't have time to deal with it and you don't want to deal with it, you could just come as an affiliate. You know, the
Okay.
affiliate, you basically just introduce them to the product. We run them through a sales process. We sell them the product for you, and then you get commissions. It's mailbox money.
Gotcha.
It's just basically knowing who to introduce it to, and then we take over for you. So that's one way. That's the hands-off, easiest, least amount of time for you.
Okay.
It's also the least amount of money for you.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
if you
What's the
wanted,
difference percentage wise around like,
well, on percentage wise, basically you're getting 50% on the affiliate of the platform fee, but you're not making anything on how many leads that they purchase.
hmm, okay, so
So
it's strictly platform. Okay.
yeah, strictly platform. And the reason for that is we've discounted our thing. We've discounted our lead prices basically so people can come in and make a good markup on it on a lead as a lead gen source.
Okay.
And that's the second way that you could do it. You could come in and you could offer leads. You could use the software yourself to generate the leads and offer those leads for sale to your customers. So that's a little more involvement on you,
Mm,
but that allows you to set the lead price at whatever you want. You can take that $1.99 lead and you can sell it for $4.99 if you want to. You could sell it for $29.99 if you want to. It's
gotcha.
like, if you're really good at selling and you can present the value,
Mm.
you could sell it for whatever you want. You could make a lot of money doing that.
Yeah, and
It's-
I think for sure I could sell. I mean, this is not a difficult. I do very complex sales. So this is like,
yeah.
wow, this is no brainer. Hey,
Yeah.
I definitely, and I've got the audience. It's in my mind, I'm like, do I have the time, right, to do
Sure.
this correctly
Sure.
and behind the
And
scenes and
and that might
that side of it.
that might be something where you look at, okay, what am I doing currently? And what could I do to replace that? I mean, if
Mm,
this might make more money than what you're currently doing in less time, that could open you up to more time and more money. So
gotcha.
again, I don't know, what you're doing and any of the details around that, but it's something that you should look at when you're
Gotcha.
making that decision. And you don't have to go, jump from one to the other. You can put a foot across and see how it is and move in accordingly. The third way to do it is to get a white label version. And then basically it looks like it's your company. It looks like it's your software. You brand it to you. And then they can come in and they can purchase that access to that software from you. And they can pay the platform fee and that goes directly to you.
Mm,
And you can charge whatever you want for that. And then you can charge them a per lead fee and you can train them to use the software. So you're kind of hands off. They're running their own ad campaigns.
okay.
And we've got all the support for that. We've got client videos that are white labeled. So you could use those client videos to train your customers that are buying the software from you on how to
Okay.
use it. And then you're basically just supporting them and helping them to buy your stuff.
Right.
Because the more leads they buy, the more money you make.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
that would become your main purpose in life, is to support them and help them buy as much of your leads as they can.
so yeah, so if I have these agencies, right, that I said, okay, I'm going to present this to them, right? They're going to want, obviously, they're going to want to take it and run probably that third option then, because they don't just want leads, they'd want to control kind of their own destiny with it, right? And they've got, again, most of these guys have 700 plus customers, right? So
Okay.
they would want obviously their own login. They can do the marketing. They know how to do, that. I could obviously I help them. I could help them with the messaging, that side of it. But so
Yeah.
probably that third option is probably the best, right? The full
Yeah.
airline white
Yeah.
label.
Yeah.
Now to
Now,
do that, I would need though probably a web developer or something, right? Obviously to get that piece, since I don't have a website, I don't have a landing page, I don't have any of that stuff.
okay. Yeah, that's all simple stuff. We can help you get that taken care of. But
Okay,
you do, like, the software itself has the login, it's got the forward facing. We just put your logo on it. And then you've got all the website for the back end is already pre-built for you.
gotcha.
So if you want a sales page, we could set up a sales page for you and put that up, and that's not a big deal.
Gotcha. Okay.
But the advantage that you have too is actually creating, like, the whole sales process we just talked about. What you know about sales in the real world is super easy to digitize that.
Mm,
So if you could come up with the scripting, let's say you were attacking different verticals, like you said, you have one vertical, it's got 700 clients or something.
mm.
Is it all in the same industry?
Not typically. Not typically. It's
Okay.
usually it's couple spread out. But I mean, I do have some that are
Okay.
one industry, right? That
Yeah.
could
So let's say you identify a good chunk, a good vector that's got a lot of the same type of customers in it. You could actually create the sales training for them
mm,
and say, here is the ultimate sales script to sell your stuff into this industry.
mm,
And then you could just hand that to them. And then they've got their email sequence. They've got their whole follow-up sales sequence. Because that's the kind of stuff that would make this really, really fly. The more you can
mm.
help your customers do what they need to do to buy your stuff, the more successful that you're going to be. So if you spoon feed that out to them, like,
Mm,
for me, it's a little too much for me to get a grip on, because we're selling this thing to everybody, all different industries.
right.
But if you came in and you were going to specifically be like Tom, he's in the car dealership guys.
Mm,
He could go in there and say, here's leads for, the Audi whatever, and here's how to sell it.
mm.
Here's all the reasons why somebody buys this model of an Audi. And when they come in as a lead, hit them with the sequence, and you'll sell the snot out of those things. Now, they're going to put that system in place, and it's probably going to work. And how many leads do you think they're going to buy?
Yeah.
All Tom can give them. So if you've got those kind of scenarios, helping your customers consume your product is going to be to your benefit, huge. That's going to be a massive benefit for you.
And
And
then, so they would basically, again, it's under me, and they would just have their own single sign-on login,
uh-huh,
and I'll just obviously just manage the side of it. And then the
yeah.
follow-ups, though, do the follow-up email. So what happens? The lead comes in, it has their name, has their phone, has their email. In your thing, it said there was an AI automation, right, to reach back out to somebody that just popped in. I take it, is that
So
kind of
what
the
we
process?
what we currently have is we have two current integrations, and a third one is very soon. So the first one we have is through SendGrid. SendGrid is an automatic email auto response system. It's a little more difficult to set it up. It takes some skills to set that one up. So if you're not If you're not at that level, I'd probably pass on the SendGrid deal.
Okay.
A lot of people have Go High Level and they're familiar with how to use Go High Level. It's a lot easier. So we
Okay.
have the integration now into Go High Level ready to go. So you just connect your Go High Level account, the leads come in there, and then it triggers a follow-up sequence that's all you set up to be automated. Very, very soon, the Kartra one is going to be in play. That's when I can get in and I can get busy. I can start creating Kartra campaigns for people and setting up templates for anybody that's on Kartra because I know Kartra like the back of my hand.
How do you
So
spell that?
Kartra. And
Kartra.
and I have an affiliate link for it at internetdominators.com/KRATRA, Kartra.
Okay. Okay.
So, and once I create those campaigns, I'll literally be able to pipe those right into your account.
Hmm.
Like I could pre-make the template and I could load it right into your account for you.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
that's what I personally would recommend. Kartra. Kartra is going to be incredible for those. And again, when the lead comes in, it goes to your Google Doc, goes into that Google sheet, but with an integration into Kartra or Go High Level, that lead will be pumped right into your CRM, your Go High Level or your Kartra, whatever you've got it connected to, and it comes in with a tag based on the campaign. So when that tag comes over, you know which automated system or which automated sequence to send out for that tag.
Hmm.
So like the example, if it was for an Audi, whatever, that tag would fire that sequence and all those emails would start going out automatically to sell that car. It would
Gotcha.
give them all the benefits. It would basically like what I tell people is I say, start setting buying criteria.
Hmm.
Start helping your prospect understand why you are the best solution for them. And when they start looking at what you're telling them and they start comparing, no one else can compare to you because you've set the buying criteria. You have, in essence, taught them how to purchase your product. So when they go to look for competition, there isn't any.
Hmm.
You find out exactly what you have that no one else has, what's unique and specific to you, and you make that one of the buying criteria. You say, hey, if you're looking to buy a car, make sure the car has this feature or you
Hmm.
don't want it. And then you just make sure you're the only one with that feature.
Right.
So when you set strict buying criteria and teach people how to buy a particular thing, it gives you such a huge advantage.
Hmm.
And it's also, as you're doing that, you're basically doing a sales presentation, just a little piece at a time as these emails go out. At any point in time, you can also invite them into a free webinar where
Hmm.
they can come in and they can learn everything they need to know about purchasing this product.
Hmm.
And it doesn't have to be product related. It's like, it could be like, hey, if you want life insurance, there's some things you need to know. I'd highly encourage you to come on to this short webinar. It's 15 minutes and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to make sure you don't get ripped off.
Yeah.
That's not product specific. That is result specific. It's like they're looking for life insurance. They know they want it, but they don't know anything about it. So you're going to help them make sure they get what they need. And it gives you that opportunity to set that buying criteria so they'll never purchase from anyone else.
Hmm.
So when they make that purchase, it's going to be from you.
Gotcha. So
So
you think because you're not ready for Kartra yet, like if you were to get this, you'd go with high level kind of out of the gate, or is it
well,
better to
I
start
would
up on?
I would say by the time we've got Kartra in, it's not going to be that long. It wouldn't be that big a deal just to wait for it. We're talking about like maybe a couple weeks.
Oh, okay. Okay. And these are both CRM systems. I take it like a
Yeah.
HubSpot
Yeah.
or what have you.
They're not like HubSpot is much more advanced. I'll tell
Okay.
you that right now. It's also much more expensive. it's also much more detailed to set up.
Yes.
It's going to take you a lot more. You're going to lose a little hair over that one.
I use HubSpot. That's why I was like, okay, I was like, I'm familiar, at least
Yeah, so
familiar,
you
but yeah,
probably know.
something simple is, yeah, whatever's simple for this is the best. Yeah,
Yeah,
because a couple of the industries that I'm in are like really, really high dollar. So like,
yeah,
the deal size most of them are in the millions in this, the one industry that
okay,
I'm in. So like, I mean, yeah, one deal, I mean, you can make a
yeah,
couple $100,000 to $1 million on one deal. So
sure. Well,
a little
that's
bit different, right, than the higher mass, but
yeah,
just
and
different
in
different targeting, different sales process, but same same thing. Just have to create the value and
yeah,
stand out.
in that aspect, like when you're talking about $1 million deals, you might just want to become a lead gen source and just sell them the leads and sell them the leads at a lot of money.
Okay.
Because somebody that is buying leads for $1 million sale, they're not going to have any problems just buying those leads for hundreds of dollars each.
Yeah.
So totally up to you. I mean, there's no one size fits all. Uh, I see Anna's asking, what is Acquisition Air? That is our product that we've created that is AI lead gen. It follows people around that are searching. Like when somebody searches on a secondary search across the internet, it will follow them around and make sure that they're interested in that material. And if they are, it grabs their lead information and pipes it right to you in real time. So really cool. It's a really phenomenal lead source.
Now my second question is, how you have to be opted in, right, to be able to be contacted. Um, so versus obviously at Google, which with SEO, right, it's expensive, and I mean,
Yeah.
we do SEO, but it's not cheap. And as you said, it is not,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they do the long tail leads and different things. But now with this, it's obviously not going through Google. What is the percentage of people, I guess, that you can hit up on it that are, because they do have to be opted in, right? In order. So like,
Okay.
I don't
So
even know if I'm opted in, or if I search somewhere and went onto a site, would they be able to capture me? How do you get permission from these sites? Like, how does that even work?
okay, so there's a misconception about the whole opted in thing. People really don't have to be opted in for you to email them. And
Hmm.
this is according to the CAN Spam Act. If you read the regulations for the CAN Spam Act, you can email anyone for anything as long as you put an unsubscribe on there.
Hmm.
So they really do not have to be opted in.
Okay. Okay. I was
But
not
with
aware.
our
You do though,
data,
right? Phone you do. I'm pretty
yes,
sure.
yes, phones are different.
Okay.
Calling people is absolutely a whole different animal. But for email itself, for a long time it was like unregulated, and then it was regulated hard, and then they softened it up. But ultimately they came out with the CAN Spam Act. And that's kind of the federal rules for email. And you can email anyone you want.
Hmm.
But the thing is, you have to follow the rules. You have to give them a way to unsubscribe, and you have to not hide your contact information. So you have to be completely transparent, and should be no problem. Now, on the other side, like when you're doing email through Kartra, it's already CAN spam compliant. They automatically put an unsubscribe on there. You can't send an email through their system without an unsubscribe on it. They put your contact data at the bottom of the email too. So if you're emailing through Kartra, you are CAN spam compliant, 100%.
Gotcha.
Now, with our leads, we have a better system. We've gone a step beyond that. We're actually purchasing our data through a big data center where people have opted in to receive marketing materials from their vendors, which we are considered one of their vendors.
Hmm.
So we've actually gone a step up and above just the basic CAN spam thing.
Okay.
we've gone a step above that where we've taken the leads that are compliant, have opted in, and we scrub those against several different lists to get rid of anything bad or any complainers.
Mhm.
Because, you don't want to email a complainer. There's all kinds of these people, for lack of a better word, I'm just going to call them dickheads. I might be a little socially unacceptable there, but that's exactly what they are. And they are setting traps for people.
Mm.
They're like opting into things to cause problems. And there's lists that keep track of those dickheads. So we scrub the data against the dickhead list. So
There's your next product.
yeah. So, we've gone like above and beyond to make sure that what the leads that you're purchasing through Acquisition Air are top quality. No doubt
Gotcha.
about it.
And now when they deliver a lead, is it typically, I mean, is it enough to just say, hey, this guy's interested in this, and like even from the sheet, or you really need to have 2 or 3 touches back and forth with somebody before you hand over a lead as I guess what would be considered a qualified lead? What's a
So
raw,
these
do they have a raw lead? I mean, do there some to say, yeah, just
no,
give it to my guy and
these
I'm gonna email these guys or call them or what have you.
these are what we consider qualified leads because before we even grab their contact information, we make sure that they've consumed at least 2 additional pieces of relevant content
Okay.
before we even classify them as an in-market lead. So
Okay.
it's like they run the search, they go to that, they click on something, and then beyond that click, they're consuming more content on that subject matter.
So could
So
you sell it just as is, even without the additional email, reach out
you can absolutely do that, but what you want to do, you want to make sure that if you're going to just sell the leads,
Mhm.
make sure the person you're selling the leads to has a way to automatically respond to them.
Gotcha.
Because here's the thing, you get this lead in real time.
Hmm.
As this person is literally consuming that second piece of content, we're grabbing their contact information, we're scrubbing it in a matter of seconds, and we're delivering it to you. So within seconds of this person consuming that second piece of content, you know who they are and how to contact them.
Okay. So then we would need to integrate with their Kartra or their right
Yeah,
to be
and
able
we
to.
and we've got those bridges built in, and if you can also tell somebody we can integrate into any CRM through the use of Zapier.
Okay.
So they can have their tech team do that. You don't have to worry about that. If they've got, a CRM, they probably know how to connect things to it,
Okay.
especially if they're purchasing leads already. They probably already know how to do that. If not, you can find somebody on Fiverr that can do a Zapier integration real easy to
Okay.
whatever CRM they've got.
Gotcha. No,
So,
that's good. No, that's good. Because yeah, I mean, then it makes it even more, a lot easier, right? If a
mhm.
lot of these guys probably already do have certain ways to digest. Because they had interest in SEO, and I was like, guys, like that's a tough, heavy lift to bring on unless you really know what you're doing. And I'm
Well,
like,
as of July, I stopped offering SEO services. In July, I pretty much ended all my SEO contracts, and I'm just telling people now, it's like, why would you want to pay me for SEO when I can just tell you who's looking for you?
yeah. It's
I
so
mean,
expensive. It just you're fighting and you're fight
yeah,
and
yeah, and there's
these
no
guys are
guarantees.
they're battling with these guys that are spending millions and millions and millions of dollars. It's like you're not going to win that battle. You're just not.
Yeah, yeah. But here's something I want to just bring across for you guys. These leads, when they come in, they're as hot as they're going to get right then.
Mhm.
This person's literally looking at this stuff right now. That means they're interested right now. They're not interested tomorrow. They're not interested like after dinner when you get a chance to get to your email and respond to them. They're not interested next week. They're interested right now. Right now is the time to email them. And I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't say, oh, I see that you ran a search on this keyword, because that is a little freaky. That is not the way to do this. That's not the way to play this game. What we're doing is we're giving you a crystal ball into their thought process. And it allows you to do what I call showing up at the right place at the right time. So let's say they're running a search for, life insurance. I'll just use that as an example. It's a really good time for you to show up in their email box of, hey, if you want life insurance, or make sure you don't buy life insurance without knowing these three things. Not, hey, I see you're looking for life insurance. That's going to flip them out. But if you come up with something that is really, really time sensitive and critical to their purchase process, they're going to click on it. They're going to consume what you've got. And now the process begins. Your sales process begins. And, every sales process starts with grab attention, create demand and desire, eliminate objections, and make an offer. How fast or slow you do that is up to your audience, what their level of consumption is. Some people have a really long sales process. If you're selling real estate, you have a long sales process. If you're selling $1 million integrated equipment, that's a long sales process. People don't just call up and say, hey, I want this, send it to me. What do you want payment? Credit card? They don't do that. It's a long sales process. If you're selling a $7 ebook, yeah, do it in one shot. Let's not waste time. $7, get to the point. Here's the value. Boom, let's make the sale. So everybody's going to be different. There is no one size fits all to sales. You got to do your analysis. This goes to the ACT program. Do your analysis. Based on your analysis, create your campaign. Go into the C.
How do we download? I know you had a download, right, for the ACT process.
Yes. Yeah. If you're through Alignable, you can go into the Alignable members area there, and there's a zip file where you can download the whole thing. And if you guys are in my regular one, you can just log into yours, and it's all laid out there in a nice format. You can just click through one by one, look at the videos. But yeah, it's a process, and it's a proven process that's been working for well over 100 years. Ad agencies have been following that ACT protocol, whether they knew it or not. All I did was just modeled what they were doing. Like, I looked at ad agencies as the ultimate salespeople. They were the ultimate to me. They had taken what it takes to sell, and they'd created marketing around it to eliminate the need for a sales process. Ad agencies is the worst nightmare to a salesman, because a really good ad agency will eliminate the need for a salesman. So what I did was I looked at, okay, what's their process? How are they doing this? How are they so effective? And how do they just not miss? And it was a recipe. It was an absolute recipe. They cooked that cake every time using that same recipe. And it was always analysis. It was always they follow the analysis with the creation process. And they didn't go into traffic until they had those two right. They did all their market research, all their analysis, figuring out who it was, what they wanted, why they wanted it, and then created the messaging. So the analysis is all about figure out the market. The creation is all about figure out the message to that market. And then the traffic is bring that message to that market. Not just, fling it out all over the world, but bring it to that market that you did that analysis for. That's what it's all about.
And you have training videos on there and as well. Do you still do counseling on the ACT program? Like, so if a company wanted to bring you in and do a training on that, do you still do things like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
That could be something I may reach out to you on that.
Okay. Yeah. No problem. I'm fairly good at that process.
Oh, I guess the second question would be, yeah, if I have, so if I have a big group, 40 businesses and so forth, and want to do a like a WebEx kind of deal, is that's something you would do too? So like, let's say I sign up for whatever the third option, the white label, I get set up and I've got this,
Yeah.
get a WebEx with 40 different companies that'd be interested, right, to promote it. I'd promote it to them ahead, get them on the line, get them in.
Yeah,
That's
you
something
bet.
that you could do. Okay. Okay.
I do those all the time. I've got one scheduled at 2 o'clock today.
Oh, perfect. Even better. Even better.
So yeah, I'm totally open for whatever I can do to help you sell your stuff or sell our stuff. And
Hey, John,
uh,
if you don't
yeah,
mind,
go ahead, Brady.
I just, and if I'm muddying the waters, I apologize. I just want to make sure that Ray, you're clear on this, because I think you had said, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you had several folks that might have, say over 700 clients themselves that might be interested in that third tier as well, like the white label. Am I assuming that correctly, or you would just have the white label and they would just be a client?
I would have
Okay.
the white label and they would be a client. They would obviously have access, but they would basically be selling the leads to their customers.
Okay. Just want to make sure that there's not a multi-tier facet whenever you, the white label agency. So, your clients per se would not be able to add clients of their own in that system. So I just want to make sure you're clear there.
Yeah,
Uh,
so maybe I have a little more questions around that. So, all right, so they're a broker. They have 700 different customers. Um, would I trying to think, would it only be affiliate program would be the only option for them to sell leads to all their customers, or could they still be under me and just sell leads through it?
They can still sell leads, but it would be outside of the system. We don't have a multiple tier billing. So the affiliate would be the way to go if you're gonna treat them like you, where they're gonna have their own clients and have their own pricings and stuff difference in the system itself. And we can have an offline conversation. I don't want to hijack John's meeting on just this
Yeah,
conversation,
okay.
but
Yeah,
because I don't want to
let's
muddy the waters with everybody else. But it is
okay.
something to think about to wrap your head around too, Ray.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's set that up because again, right, these guys would want to obviously resell, right? So they'd want to resell the leads to their different customers. Um, I don't know if they would need a different account for each customer if they just sold leads, I don't know. I guess I need more direction from you guys on that.
Yeah.
I sent
So
you my schedule, so you're welcome to book that and we can have a conversation.
Oh, you did? Okay, hold on. Let's see.
and just so you know, we do have another tier up. It's called our enterprise version.
Okay.
And in enterprise, what we do is we basically clone my system onto another server specifically for you. And we just replace your brand with the Internet Dominator brand. And then you're actually operating the whole thing physically like I am. It becomes your system. It's what we call enterprise level. You have to be up to a pretty good volume commitment for us to do that, though. There's some cost in programming and and all of that. So, but that is available. We've uh, we've got two in process right now. I think what we planned on doing was three in the first year. So we've already got two set up. So we would take on one more for the first
Brady,
year.
did you put it in the chat? I don't see it.
I'm sending you another email, Ray.
Oh, you have my email. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's move on to our SEO rock star. Hey, how you doing?
Up, John, how are you?
I haven't seen you since Boston.
Yes, you haven't. But I've been stalking you, watching all your videos and just getting up to speed on all this stuff.
Oh, cool.
So my question is, I built my website, I branded it. I just went to SEO at the beach And this is my brand. I don't know if you can see it. Probably not. But I wore it on a shirt, and all these business agencies, their eyes just went like that. I got people calling me crazy and trying to sign up, and I'm not ready. I got my website up, but I just need to know where to go from here. It's called leadamerica.com, and
Oh, cool.
people are eating this up. I got to get on board. I think I'm on your enterprise. So I want
Okay,
the
cool.
system set up where it's branded with Lead America.
Yeah, yeah, you have the white label version, so you could absolutely do that. But as far as like all these people that you've got excited that want to get in on it, don't let them slip through your fingers. At least do the lead capture on them.
Right,
And
right.
what you can do, I did this when we first released Acquisition Air. I didn't even have a name for it yet. I'm like, we didn't even know what to call it. So we put like unlimited leads. And what I did was I put up a landing page uh, wanting beta testers. I'm like, we're going to release this soon. We're going to need beta testers. So if you want to be in the beta test group, go ahead and sign up, get on our list, and you can be one of the first ones to get access. Now, a beta tester normally is free, but it doesn't have to be.
Right, right.
A lot of people will pay to be in a beta test group just to be part of something. But collect those leads, and that is what Kartra is
I
phenomenal.
have I mean, I didn't get SEO Rockstar for no reason. I mean, I know everybody in the industry. So
Yeah.
I started telling them about it, bang, their eyes are like wide open.
Oh yeah, yeah. There is a lot of uncovered ground on this thing. You can slide into a lot of different industries here and just make a fortune on who you know.
And I'm going to another big event in April. There's going to be a big room full of agencies. So I'll
Oh
be,
yeah,
yeah, I'll be promoting as well. And I
right
go up
on.
is XCO Rockstar. Oh, you can't see it with this camera, huh? That's
Now
my,
you have to turn the blur off on the background, then you could see it.
oh, yeah, it's all right.
It's the blur on the background that does that.
Yeah, huh?
I have the same thing. Anytime I try and show something, it does that. But
Oh, there it is. All right, here's the SEO Rockstar. So I gave everybody those at the tables, and they're like,
oh, cool.
perfect, Brandon. And then I was wearing this shirt with that on the front. That's my new logo for the Lead America.
Oh, all right. Nice.
People are just eating this shit up, so I have to get this going.
Well, make sure at least you're sending them to the landing page so they can opt in.
Right.
Because that way, if you don't get them to opt in, that's a lost sale. Trying to bring them back around later if you don't have their contact information is just an impossible task.
Most of the people that I talk to, I do have their contact
Okay.
information. Every
Okay.
friend of me, even the speakers were all friend of me on Facebook.
Okay. Cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
but on Facebook, it's not the same thing as getting them to opt in on your list.
yeah, I know that.
You want to actually send them. Like, do you have Kartra yet
No,
or anything? Do you have Go High Level or any kind of?
no, I'm at the beginning stage. I did the
Okay.
website, I'm probably 80% done with it. So I'm
Okay.
to figure
So
out where
the
to on that.
so the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put some sort of a CRM capability into it. If you're doing the site in WordPress, there's some basic WordPress plugins you could do to bootstrap and just at least get something where you can start building a list.
All right.
But that's going to be your number one thing where you're going to miss opportunity is getting that excitement. You need to take advantage of that excitement. In
Right.
many cases, that excitement only happens once. The next time you show up with that, with Lead America, it won't be as exciting as the first time.
No, I
So
get
it'll be harder to get them that excited the second time to get them to opt in. So take advantage of that momentum. And then, like with Kartra, momentum is everything. A lot of times at the first of the year, I have this talk about, it's a process, it's a year-end process we do. And then right after that, I follow that up with a talk about the flywheel concept. And your business is like a flywheel. It's a big, heavy thing that seems almost impossible to move at first. But once you do something and that flywheel starts to move, it now has momentum. So you can either let it stop and then you can try and start it again, all that effort it took to get it started, or you can do something else while it's moving that's a smaller effort to get it to move even faster. And once that thing starts moving, it takes less effort to move it more. And if you stop, it's good. The flywheel stops and you're starting all over.
Oh, I get all that.
You
I
know,
just
it's like a car. If you had a dead car sitting in the road and you had to push that car 1,000 feet forward, you know how hard it is to get the car moving the first inch, right? So think about if you push that car for a foot and then stop to rest, and then you got to start over again. Versus once you get the car moving, all you got to do is like just lay a hand on it and just keep a little bit of pressure and it's going to continue to roll. And then if you push it a little bit harder, it's going to roll faster. And then you can continue to maintain that speed with a minimal effort. That's the flywheel concept. So never let your business lose momentum. And the best way to do that is with autoresponders. Keep that flowing, keep that sequence flowing. But here's the thing, you can't just throw shit at them. You got to really think out your sequence. You have to create messaging that makes sense. And it should all be revolving around that whole process of grabbing attention, creating demand and desire, and eliminating objections. And creating demand and desire, all you have to do is just show them how to consume your product to get what they want. You don't have to sell them. You just have to give them something that will move their needle forward. Give them something where you can give them results on demand, results in advance, whatever you want to call it. Give them something to do that they can get a little result that moves them closer to what they really want. And that's going to start their flywheel moving. And this whole thing will just spiral in your favor and make life so much simpler.
all right. I get all that. I'm at the point, I got a website. I just need to know where I wait. You said CRM. I'm gonna do that. And then to do the mimic of my site on acquisition air, I need to know how to do all that. I need to know how to set the system up.
Okay.
I
You
can
can
buy it
do-
like now. They call me today even. Hey, I'm like, no, it's not.
We've got both on the call here. We've got Brady and we've got Connie, and both of them can help walk through that with you. You know, we actually have a white glove onboarding service that you could use where, you know, basically you're just buying time with them to walk through the process with you and help you get it all set up and all that. So they can be very beneficial in that and get you up and running, you know, within an hour. Pretty quick and dirty.
An hour would be sweet because I told them it's 2 months out.
No, I mean, you could literally have your system white labeled in an afternoon, no problem.
Damn it. If that was the case, then yeah, I could really get a lot of leads coming in.
Yeah. Yeah. And as far as like Kartra goes, if you want to hop into Kartra and you know and get that set up for your lead gen, that would be really beneficial for you. So, but yeah, just reach out to us if you want help getting that stuff put together, and we'll get in there and jump in, roll our sleeves up, and get dirty with you.
Yeah, how do I set that up? How do I set the appointments up for that?
Just go on to our support forum.
All right, I'm
Just
looking.
just put a support ticket in. No problem.
Sounds good, John. Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too.
I've been eating a lot of desserts since then.
Oh, I bet I broke your sugar habit, didn't I?
You did.
It's good. The good thing you aren't out here on the West Coast. We had my birthday party this last weekend, and it was insane spread of food. And then
Somehow, I don't know how I did.
And then the desserts came out. It's like, oh my God, just go ahead and kill me now.
Funny.
So I'm finally recovering.
That's awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna get on all that, and I'm sure you'll see me again. 'Cause I'll have
All right. Sounds good. All right, let's go to Anna.
Hi, John. How are you? Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. I hit the
I
big
did.
6-0 this year.
Uh-oh.
Pretty
So that
not
means you're the
sure.
new 40, right? You're just
Yeah, there
40
you go.
now. A youngin'.
That's a
So
good way.
I have a million questions for you, but not all today.
All right.
So I was part of your, I don't know if you recognize my name, but I was part of your membership like 1 million years ago,
I
you
do
know.
remember you. Yes.
Yeah. So the SEO Dominators and Link Vana, how that blew up, and
Yeah.
Ahrefs blew up, and you know how Google likes to have fun with us.
Oh yeah.
So something you sent me, I guess a week ago or so, actually, made it to my email. And so then I saw this alignable thing and I sent you a note. And so then I joined this and it seems great. So I went back and I looked through my email. You had invited me. So I have Site Pop now since like the day it came out. I mean, I'm
Okay.
sure you had it in testing mode before, but I've been paying for it for years and it works amazing. I mean, amazing.
Yeah.
So I do have to go in there and change some stuff every once in a while, but I know you did that with you and Chris and it's great. But this acquisition error. So anyway, I do SEO and I do pay per click and I have for like 20 years. And but in 20 years that has completely changed. Right? So
Sure. Yeah.
you've been doing this like me for so many years that like when people tell me, "Oh yeah, I was doing Google AdWords in 2000." I'm like, "No, you weren't. You're a liar, right? You like there wasn't even that at all. I mean, they had DoubleClick. They didn't even have something called Google AdWords, right? It was
Yeah.
an open bidding and crazy and Yahoo ruled the day and so many things have changed, right? So
Yeah.
I love the idea of just basically firing Google and not having to do all this SEO. So
Yeah.
I still focus on certain niches, and one of my niches is criminal law. And I would
Huh?
like to do some family law, but I like criminal and I love criminal lawyers because they understand the value of time, so they don't call me and I don't call them. I just like being paid and I like just doing my stuff. And I do not want to have these never ending phone calls that
Sure.
other types of customers like to have, like, let's just say life insurance. And realtors will talk you to death. For one coffee, it's 4 hours.
Yeah.
So no, I don't. So I loved what I heard about this newsletter thing because I'm here in Houston, Texas. I don't know if you remember that, but
Mhm.
this is the land of oil and gas. So I have lots of companies that are big and quite honestly stupid. So they don't do newsletters. And I'm not saying like ExxonMobil. I'm talking about all the people that service ExxonMobil, right?
Sure.
They need to they need to get newsletters out and whatever. So would this Letterman AI work for like people who do metal fabrication and
Yep. Yep.
pottery places, that are like a pottery studio, if you know what I mean, like all that kind of
Yeah.
eclectic stuff.
Absolutely. Because what it can do, it can find the latest, most interesting information on any subject matter, and it can populate a newsletter with it.
Yeah, I heard you say that in the
Yeah.
call, and I was like, my ears just, I cannot tell you, I was so excited. I was like, what?
Yeah, like
So,
what it'll do, it'll queue into like Google News, for instance, and it'll see an article on something that's fresh and relevant. And then it'll go over and it'll use AI to create a new article, a unique article based on that same thing, and then populate your newsletter with it. So
Yeah,
it's
like this newsletter that's done by Thomas. They're the very big like engineering
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And so anyway, so
They're
many
the
of
they're the
those
ones that
news.
they're the ones that did the Thomas Guide, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
And so many of their news articles, I'm like, oh my God, I wish that I could get this guy in this company to just rewrite those articles, but they're complex. And then we could just use that in a newsletter because he has wanted a newsletter for 17 years,
Mm-hmm.
right? But they just don't ever have the time to do it. Big jobs come in and
Yeah.
that's it. So you think this Letterman thingy is a good idea?
Well, think about what that would do for a company. Like let's say a company is got a lot of competitors, right? And the company you're working with, you offer them an ability to communicate with all those customers and show them how you are the expert of all those competitors. If you're the one that is giving out
News
fresh
feed.
content, like news related content, you've got your pulse, you got your finger on the pulse of that industry, and your competitors don't. Your
Yeah,
competitors
then they
are not
don't.
the ones that are communicating their value on a regular basis through that newsletter.
So what
And
would you charge?
that's a whole nother thing where they in the group they're discussing like what to charge for it. And I think it's based on a lot of different variables. What the industry is, how valuable that is, a lot of different things. But it could be anywhere from a few hundred a month to thousands a month.
Well, I'm going to start off with 500 and just
Yeah,
see where it goes.
yeah,
And,
because
because
that's
I'm
a
just
big
trying it. Yeah.
job. Yeah,
Yeah, because I don't know yet what is going to happen. Is it really worth 500 a month? And then maybe it'll be like, well, if you want us to do twice a month, it's going to be 1500 because it's a lot more research. And then that way I can
sure,
increase the price. Okay, so
sure,
that's
absolutely.
a good venue. The other thing is this acquisitioner. So I
Mhm.
like criminal law and family law, and there's lots of rules, and they are rules in every state by the state bar who gives the lawyers their ability to practice the law. So they don't like to break it, but like, can these leads be for criminal law?
I believe so. And so where we're getting these primarily is out of secondary search boxes. And what I mean by that is a search box on any website is a secondary search box. So the
Mm-hmm.
reason that this is so good for real estate is because there's companies like Zillow and Realtor.com and Redfin, and they spend millions and millions of dollars of advertising to come there for real
Right.
estate searches.
And then the people just whoop, they go off to the realtor and they start searching other stuff. Got
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So when somebody runs a search on those secondary search boxes, we're grabbing that lead. And it's kind of like the difference between if they went to Google and they ran their real estate search on Google, that's like a generic search, and nobody buys on a generic search. They go for the
Right.
long tail. So when they discover these industry specific search boxes, that's like the long tail of lead gen. And that's what you want. That's where you get your customers.
Right.
So
And so,
that's
like,
why,
I know all kinds of keywords, right, that work for criminal law and all
uh-huh.
kinds of negative keywords. Do I have to put all that in, whatever this thing is, to make it
So
work?
in our system, it's a lot easier than SEO keyword research. Is
Mm.
in our system, what we're doing is we're using up to 3 words in a phrase. And let's say you used a 3-word phrase. We're going to grab every possible variation of that 3-word phrase. Like any number of words in a string that has all 3 of those words in it, you're going to get it. So
Okay. So,
it's a
like,
lot easier than having,
DWI lawyer Houston, and, so whatever, like
yeah,
assault lawyer Houston, drug lawyer Houston. And that
yeah,
does turn into thousands of derivations,
yeah. And
right?
you don't even have to use Houston because you can geo target it. You can
Aha.
you can go in and say, I only want these out of Houston, or I only want these out of these 10 zip codes or 20 zip codes.
Okay, so I hope that I just put in these 3 keywords and then Magicalicious, the data pops out. I have high level. I've been using it since 2020 or before.
Okay.
And how does it get into high level?
So if you integrate your Go High Level account with the lead gen software, when the
Mhm.
lead comes in, it's going to get integrated and it's going to flow right into your Go High Level account, and it's going to have the tag that is the campaign name.
Mhm.
So when you set up a campaign, you make the keyword list for that campaign very, very specific.
Right.
And then when that tag comes over, that can trigger an automated sequence to go out from your Go High Level account.
And it would go out and it would send an email to the
Uh-huh.
prospective client.
Yep.
Do I have, when I say client, is it sending email, or can I send email to the prospective person who is of interest and to the client? Or
Well,
like what happens there?
this email is going to go out to the lead that's generated. So the person that was running the search is going to get this lead.
Okay, and what's the thing going to say to them?
Whatever you want. You are in
So
control of
that's what you
putting
were
out that.
saying. Like I can do the thingy and I can say top 5 things you need to know about a DWI
Huh?
lawyer in Houston or
Yes,
whatever.
exactly. Yep.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I don't
you,
think that actually breaks the rule since we're not texting. Texting would be a rule break, but
nope, nope, you don't want to text them on a first go. So what you can do, you can send them an email like, hey, here's the 3 things to keep you out of jail during a DUI. And then they click on that, and then they read that, they opt in to get that information. And then maybe you send them another email that says, hey, I've got even more information. If you'd like me to text it to you, just let me know. Now they've asked you to send them a text. Then it's okay to text them because it's completely permission based. So at that point, now you can text them because you have their permission to do so. And I don't know of anything that says you can't do that once it's permission based. You'd have to check that out, but I think you're good to go once they ask for it.
yeah, yeah. And then we could just
Uh,
text them like a get your 20-minute Zoom consultation on your case, blah, blah, blah. And they
Uh-huh.
become a real lead at that point.
Yep.
Okay, so supposedly, so are the prices on that link the prices that we have to pay when we've been an
The,
extremely excellent long-term client?
the leads are $1.99 each.
Hmm.
That's your cost on the leads. And you can turn around and you can resell those for whatever you want.
Okay.
So the platform fees we do have, if you don't see it, shoot me an email and I'll send you a link to the special pricing that we put out for our beta group, and we can get you in on that. That's for the platform itself.
Okay, great.
But yeah, the
So
leads are $1.99 each, which is extremely inexpensive.
you
And
can't get a pay-per-click for that.
oh no, you can't even get a click for that for sure. So
Okay, so do you think that um like do you know that this works for lawyer leads?
I haven't got, as far as I know, I don't know of what everyone's using it for. What you might do, Brady's got a much better pulse on, all the people using the system and who's doing what with it. So you might reach out to him and just ask him about that.
Okay, so I had already opened a support ticket. Should I then say,
Okay.
this
That,
is a support ticket for Brady? Can he please answer this stuff?
yeah, that's fine. And Connie might be able to answer that too. Either one, Brady and Connie, they man our support ticket system and they're awesome. They're all over that thing. So
I sent you a
Well,
message back, Anna. If you want to get registered, we can get you a link. To answer your question very quickly, um, anybody that's like with like accident lawyers and things like that, if somebody's like trying to pick up the phone and call these folks right away, they haven't had a whole lot of success just because our phone numbers are about 50% accurate. That hasn't been our focus. We are improving that and going to have, an option for an upgrade from that for phone numbers in the future. But as far as the email campaigns, that really comes down to, again, the marketing piece and how well you are versed in that skill set. So we do have some folks that have seen some success, but, we don't have oodles and oodles of lawyers out there yet.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for answering my questions. I appreciate it.
All right, you got it. Well, welcome back. Good to see you back in the group.
Good to see you too. Thanks.
All right, let's hit one more here before we wrap up today. We'll get Manuel.
Hi, John. Good afternoon.
Good.
I came in a little bit late because I had a staff meeting at my brick and mortar business there, my martial arts. And anyway, I just heard a little bit about the newsletter. Can you
Oh yeah,
is there a link? Is there a link or anything information about that? Because I have
yeah,
several questions here.
sure. I just put it in the chat. It's the Ignite Master
Okay.
Group. So I
Okay.
just put it in the chat again, and it's a mastermind group run by Perry Belcher, and you get a whole bunch of different software that his team is developing. And the whole group, the whole point of that group is how to make your first million. And they give you the software to do it. Like they give you
Okay.
all kinds of stuff to, to give you every opportunity to leverage internet marketing to make your first $1 million. And they're assuming that you have nothing. They're assuming you literally have nothing to serve, nothing to sell, and they're going to give you all these different opportunities with stuff to do. And there's no charge for any of it. I mean, you pay for the mastermind group. It's a 1 year commitment. But
You know how much that is?
it's $3,000.
Oh,
So
okay.
3,000 for the year.
I gotta get at least a client here.
Yeah, you get all the access to all their software and the year's worth of training, and they're doing at least 10 live events every year. So almost every month they're doing a live event where
Wow.
you can actually go through the 3-day live training event for that particular software, or you don't have to go live. You can also get it online. The other thing that you get from being in this original group is these are going to be flagged as the founding members.
Mm.
So one of the benefits to the founding members is you get to be an affiliate to sell this to other people and get a 50% commission for life.
Wow.
And if you think about it, somebody that gets in here and starts using, some of their software, they're going to stay in at $3,000 a year. So you're going to be getting $1,500 a year from each person that joins this thing. And they're going to do a really good job at making sure that they're making money with the software so they stay in. This group is really, really good at retention.
Okay.
So,
That sounds good. And this is your link too, right?
yeah, that's my
Yeah.
affiliate link. It's
And then
internetdominators.com/ignite.
in your Kartra, I haven't made the decision, and that's my next question here. Thank you for sharing that, John. I want to
Sure.
move on because I know you got to get going. About the CRM, I know you talked about SendGrid, you talked about Kartra, go high level, and you said wait a little bit, a moment. So I've been waiting actually because I'm still working plus my other clients. But however, you suggest because SendGrid is an email autoresponder only. Okay, I believe that's what it is, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Kartra has a lot of things, but is that also becoming to be an email autoresponder?
Kartra does the email auto response. I just put my Kartra affiliate link in there too, if you're interested in that.
Yeah, we'll go through that with you because
And
definitely.
we're gonna have the Kartra integration into Acquisition Error within probably the next couple weeks.
So we'll just have to wait for that. Is there a anyway? What's this deal with go high level? I know I've heard so much about that. Do I need that if I go with Kartra?
No, you need one or the other.
Okay. Do I need SendGrid?
Nope. No, you need
So
one.
I just
You basically just need one.
okay. So I just need okay. I'm glad I waited because I was like, okay, I need to just take my time, which is listen to my intuition, and so I did. And
Yeah.
listen to you today. I just wanted to clarify that. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
So I don't need the go high level at all, and I don't need Sangre at all, because you're gonna
Right.
have so you the Kartra. How long has it been going on with that email autoresponder with Kartra? How long has that been going on?
Oh, Kartra's been around for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years.
Right, but I don't think they started with the email integration right away, did they?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They've had email since day one.
Okay. Well, I was involved briefly, but I didn't go through with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, last question. Thank you for sharing that. Site pop,
Uh-huh.
that's still active because I got away from it. It was doing really good. So, because I have all the equipment, and that's still active to this day, correct?
Oh, yeah. Site pop still
Okay.
works very,
So
very well.
what I'll do is I need the link for that, get back into it, because I think I'd pay some type of the 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 membership fee, and then I was charging monthly. So if you can share that with me, I'd appreciate that.
Okay.
Or through the email. Want to
Yeah.
get back into that. So
Yeah. Just,
I will wait. What, 2 weeks on Kartra? You said 2 weeks.
yeah. Yeah. That should be about right.
Okay.
They're doing the testing on it right now. So I don't think it's going to be too much longer.
Okay. So what are you planning to do with this Kartra here? I mean, are you just offering to the members, right?
Well, Kartra, I just put my affiliate link up for Kartra. So anybody that goes through that and gets the Kartra, I'll be able to send campaigns right through into your Kartra account.
Gotcha.
So I can go ahead and I can create, like, once we get the integration, I can create some stuff and just pipe that right into your account ready to go. And then you just edit it.
Yeah, I've been like tossing back and forth, and I said, okay, I'll just keep waiting and just waiting, and I'm glad I heard you saying this. I appreciate you, John. Thank you.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's the only questions I have, and I think that's about it. And so I will check into this Ignite and information, and so I think that's all for today.
All right, sounds good. Well, I'm gonna hop onto our go, or actually it's not a go high level, it's with Damian Zamora's group. So we're doing a big webinar today here at 2. So
Is that
Hey, John.
yeah?
Hey,
That's
John. Hey,
yeah, go
hey,
ahead,
John.
Chris.
Can I ask you? I just have one real fast question. I'm in
Okay.
the car, and so I don't know that I might take a look at the Perry Belcher offer, but if you shut down the meeting, how can I get that link?
Oh,
I'm in the car right now.
you can email me, I can send it to you.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you.
Or if you remember, it's pretty simple. It's internetdominators.com/ignite.
Okay, that's all I need. Thanks, pal.
All right, you got it.
Is that the same? Is that the same webinar that he had before with Zamora before, or was it the first time you did?
This one is actually an integration for his new customers. He just onboarded a whole bunch of new customers.
Wow.
So it's an
Okay.
integration webinar. So,
Thank you, John.
all right, guys, have a great week, and I'll continue recovering from my birthday celebration.
Oh yeah, belated birthday. Wish you more birthdays to come.
We'll be back in good shape next week. So we will talk to you then.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.